No. Am I on the freaking right computer? No. Am I on the right computer? What can 75 bucks get you? That's the question we're going to answer hopefully today. What exactly is in this machine that makes it 75 bucks, but a gaming computer that you can actually game on? Now obviously stay tuned for all the results, but one of the biggest thing was this was a very big challenge. GPU prices, etc. The graphics card in here was, I will say, an extremely good bargain for what I got it for. Out of the box, it was with the box and everything. It was super good deal, and I'm really happy about this. And I was able to keep this whole thing under 75 bucks. Actually, it came in like right at 75 bucks, which was awesome. But this thing, the question we're going to answer today is, how well does it game? And also, for make sure that we have good testing procedure, I have got 2 games loaded up on this SSD. This was not included, so I'm not including it in here. But this is a full working computer. It has graphics card, everything. But we're going to be using this well, there went that. Hopefully it didn't break, because that's the one that came on my computer, but we're good. So, yeah, we got an SSD, and we're hopefully going to use that for loading up the games just to get a good test idea. That's also, just keep in mind though that it's not part of the computer, but it does help load with games, but it won't help a lot with frame rate and all those important things. So load times I'm not too worried about. If you really want to know what a load time on a hard drive is, it's not too difficult to find out. Everybody knows what those are. So pretty much we're going to get into it. So let's test it out now. Can it game? So the big question everybody wants to know is what's inside this baby. So first off, let's talk about what it is actually. So I got this power supply from a buddy. He wanted to take the other one, which I think was a bronze rated, and it was it was non-modular, and he wanted to trade me for this one, which is a fully modular, not gold rated and not a copper rated, and he wanted to trade me for it, and I paid, you know, pretty much 10 bucks for the power supply, that old one, so I got this brand new one right here for, well, whatever it was. And I don't think it was 10 bucks. I think it came with a little bit more. But you get the general idea. It was power supply right here. So next thing, we've got this graphics card. Everybody's going, oh boy, graphics card. I didn't know they made trash into cards. No, this is actually pretty good. It's got 2 gigabytes. It's a GTX 660. It's got 2 gigabytes of DDR5 video memory. I don't know what the clock speed is on it. Not too worried. It's not a blower style card, so I'm not too worried about that. That I was able to get for 10 bucks. And that's pretty sick. Second thing, I've got 2 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. I don't know what speed is running at, but it's 4 gigabytes total. Really kind of a good age for, you know, for the kind of games we'll be playing on here. We'll have to see how well it games though. And then the next thing is we've got an i5 on here, 4 cores, 2.8 gigahertz, 650 gigabyte hard drive disk for the games and such. But the biggest thing is we're going to be using this SSD in here to see how it goes. So I'm going to get into working on this SSD, and let's get this loaded up in here, and we'll see where we go from here. So let's go. Okay, so the first game I wanted to start off by testing was PUBG, because PUBG is a very popular game right now, and I wanted to test it on this system because I know it may be completely outlandish, but I feel like it's a good possibility. So I've got all the settings set to low. I've already went through and did this once, but there was a lot of issues and there was a lot of kinks to work out regardless of checking with that computer because I'm piggybacking Wi-Fi off of it. And so I wanted to do another reshoot of this kind of clip because I felt like my first reactions though, when I first saw it, when like you join the lobby. So no, am I on the freaking right computer? No, am I on the right computer? I don't even have PUBG open. What the heck? No way. It's a little laggy, but I mean, oh, there's a strong spike. There's a short burst where you're like not lagging at all, and I had really high settings, and then things just kind of went downhill from there. So just going through and checking this, I want you guys to kind of get the experience that I did, because I was really surprised with how well it first started off, and I feel like the CPU is really bottlenecking the graphics card. So that's what my impressions are. Or the graphics card is bottlenecking, or CPU is bottlenecking the graphics card. Yeah, I was on the right thing. So now you'll notice that it's like not laggy, and then when people start joining in here, you'll notice a lot of lag. I don't know. It's loading in the textures. I think that's what it was. I think it was just the loading of the textures was crazy, but now I'm not having as much of an issue. And as you can see though, I mean there are some lag, and there's a lot of lag actually. But I will say though, overall, PUBG, give it a bit, because this is not, the reason why I can say this, I've known that this is not really what it's supposed to look like, is because when you go through and you start running it a little bit more, I feel like there's just a little bit issue with loading in the textures. So I feel like it's still playable when you get to the part about playing it, just because right now it's just really difficult to kind of go around. And you see though, the lag spikes kind of dissipate, and you're stuck with kind of a really good, it's like smooth frame rate just for like these very few lag spikes. And what I really want to make sure I showcase is that this is playable. This is fully playable for PUBG. I mean, I would say it's working marvelously if you were into the high specs. And I mean, it still doesn't look bad at all. Like, I mean, it still looks like you're playing a decent game. I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, there are these lag spikes, which, you know, arguably you can't really do much to. And the other thing is, that's why it's lagging as well, is because the change of scenery is very difficult. But now we at least have the opportunity to at least move around a bit. The problem with this is the lag time on this is a little difficult as well. So it's a little difficult for dropping and the lag in there. But now, the first experience I had with the plane actually is it wouldn't even let me drop out. Like, it was lagging this bad. And I jumped down the settings, and so now you can see that we're kind of flying in here. I'm just going to choose a random spot to drop off, and then hopefully that changes scenery. So dropping appears to be really, you know, that's one of the most important parts of like the, I don't know, etc. And it's a very important part, and this thing runs it pretty, I mean, you can tell there's some loading and some textures and stuff, and that's what seems to be the issue, and that's just CPU based. But I mean, if you were to be, you know, you won't have too much issues when you get into running around with other people. I guess there's still a slight bit lag, but I mean, if you really wanted to pay this $75 to get this kind of a computer to play something like this, I would argue is definitely worth it. So one of the big things I want to do is I want to see if I can grab a car of some sort. Let's see if I can just run around here a little bit and see what I can get you guys. Fly around here, get completely, let's see, control 1, and let's actually get out of here. So let's do some driving. So that's the other thing I want to check out is driving. How does it hold up when you're driving around? And I mean, we're just checking it. I mean, my kill to ratio is pretty much trash, so we can pretty much go through here now and just check it out. See what we're looking at here. I mean, I've definitely noticed there's a lot more difficulty in FPS. Let's go off-roading a bit. That's the other thing that we're doing a lot on this game. And I mean, that's where we're really hitting the barrier here. I feel like there's a little bit of some FPS issues with the driving around when you're going max speed. I do feel like that's a good bit of issues. Put the scope on there. Oh, there you go. See? So that was the other thing I'd recommend to see. There was a little bit of lag. That was when you got shot at. I don't think that'd be a good thing. But I mean, overall, just fooling around, that's pretty good FPS wise. So I'm going to exit the lobby now. Try a different game. So we'll see what that does. So this is pretty much a CSGO equivalent. I am going to say we'll try joining a game. Let's go. This is going to be suicide at its finest. I can smell it. So this is not that of an intensive game, but I would argue that it is going to, I don't know, it would probably be a pretty good challenge. It's a pretty much common day equivalent of what we're looking at here. And as you can see, there's a little bit of FPS lag. But for this game, I don't know. Okay, well, that's going to be interesting. No primary weapon equipped. Well, that's how you win a game right there. Don't have a primary weapon. Okay. So overall, graphics so far look fine. Let's try F3. There we go. Try that spacebar. Okay. No, whoa. So we're at max graphics. Okay, what are we looking at FPS wise? We're at 150 FPS max graphics. What the heck? I actually do this. I can actually do this. This is actually really playable. Oh, this is actually really playable, and I don't think that's hold down. I don't know if I can hold this down. One, that was not a surprise there. Let's see what we got. Oh, well. Point being, I'm a little bit surprised. It's a solid 150 FPS at ultra settings for, I mean, it's a little bit of an expired game, I will argue there, but that's what I'm looking at. Okay, let's see. Oh, we're getting shot from behind. Okay. There you go. Oh. But still, I mean, it feels good. Like, I would say arguably I get like 200 FPS on this, so you can definitely tell what kind of where the polarity lie here. And oh well, let's see, reload this por favor. Let's see, shall we? Oof, 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 and let's reload this. I mean, the lines are a little bit annoying, and I will argue there, but that's. I mean, I'm not actually doing like bad. I mean, this is obviously I haven't played this in like a long time, but still, it's not. I wouldn't argue really bad. But I mean, it's definitely arguably. Yeah, just the reload is just the worst part. But I mean, I'm not. This is the most surprising out of everything so far is the fact that this game is arguably not that bad. Let's see. Oof. Let's reload. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, it's not that bad. Not that. I mean, I'm not doing the best, but I mean, hey, for the computer you're playing on, arguably I think anybody would say something like you're doing pretty. Oh well, you're not. Hello, bro. Hello, brother. Let's just reload that real quick. Let's see, one. I don't even remember how I had this config set up. Oh well.
They can chase us down, but we will always win. Leading every dance, feeling every touch, and getting high in love. We're invincible.
Well, there we go. Won the game. I contributed. Overall, that was Black Squad, a free game. For 75, like playing on a $75 computer, as much as some games actually are, overall quality wise, I was able to play pretty decent. So I mean, I did pretty good. I'm not like that was a full playable game. Like that was maxed out full playable. So I mean, that's impressive. And then it just depends on the game you play. Let's end the game there. So, next let's try one last game and I'm going to play some Minecraft. I'm going to mod it up with some shaders. I'm going to pretty much go completely crazy and we'll see what we get from there. Finally, after my long day of playing this, I would arguably say that it's time... Oh, wow. Let's see, did I not have anything in? No, I did. Alright, okay. Anyway, regardless, I feel like overall my day playing this has been eventful, but kind of interesting as well. So as you can see, we've got the NVIDIA Corporation loaded up with some Minecraft, some maximum shaders. Render distance, I believe, is 32. Yep, 32. Rocking solid 32 FPS, but the big thing is I'm actually going to tweak the settings. So this is somewhat playable, and we're looking at a solid, I don't know, that's pretty good. Solid 60 FPS-ish. Running max shaders at 8 render distance, which you won't need anything past that on any server you play on. And I mean, hey, that's pretty playable regardless. I mean, I'm like, that's probably the most smooth frame rate I've seen all day. And that's also at max settings. Everything's maxed out except the render distance. And I mean, that's playable. I mean, I'm not even arguing there. So, for 75 bucks, is it worth it? Well, yeah, so one of the biggest things I want to talk about, and I'll actually get into this on the other half, but I want to talk about how you can get these parts for yourself, you know, with these GPU prices and stuff. But I mean, oh my gosh, it's so cool. like this is actually now like feeling like I'm wasting it because it's been sitting down here, some of the parts and stuff, and I'm feeling like I put it together now. And look at the water. Oh my gosh! Make sure you guys are seeing this because it's looking impressive. I'm like really happy with that. And now if I were to crank everything all the way down, I don't know. I don't even want to crank everything down. It's so nice. Like frame rate, no issue whatsoever. The zoom is awesome. The motion blur feels awesome. I have no issues with it. So I'm going to move into the last bit of today, which is going over everything. But to show off everything that this thing has done, I'm impressed. I am really impressed. I got to say that much. It looks good. Like, I'm impressed. I'm really happy and impressed with how well it turned out. And I feel like I could give this to somebody, sell it for like 400 some bucks, and they still be considered a gaming computer. More than most gaming computers online you buy brand new. So I feel like this is like, that's butter. Oh my gosh. Now we're up to 71 FPS. I mean, this is just with the shaders too. Like if I had done this with on my iMac back there, it would have been completely flipping bricks. But now like this looks so good. Like you look at this, like that's like shader quality. Like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So let's move into the final conclusion and we'll see what we got from there. So to conclude today what we've learned. Number one, through PUBG, which was probably the least enjoyable experience, it was still playable. I would still play it. I would probably upgrade the processor at that point because that game really needed the processor, which any game really needs more than 4 cores nowadays because CPU and all that, and operating system needs to be better CPU and stuff. But playing some of the other games, I felt like they were relatively new. They were some of the common games most people play, and I felt PUBG was playable, Black Squad was playable, similar to CSGO, which is why I didn't have CSGO on me. That's why I ended up having to use that one. But I mean, that was the best playing game. I mean, I felt like Minecraft and Black Squad were pretty much some of the best playing games. Like they were close to what this plays at, which is of course the max frame rate. But still, I mean, it was close, and it was definitely playable at 120 FPS. Black Squad was, and that was insane. And I'm sure you could crank up the Minecraft to pretty much run as well. And the shaders were a big thing with Minecraft as well, because I was really impressed with how the shaders registered. There was a really nice feel, and the shaders worked really well in Minecraft, made it look really good at 60 FPS, which is unheard of. 1080p and 60 FPS playing Minecraft with maximum shaders at decent, everything maxed out except just render distance, which shows 75 bucks, if you use it wisely and you know where to get it, then that's what you can do. Now let's talk about where you can get some of this stuff, because I'll explain where I got most of my stuff, and maybe you can get yours as well. So I got some of my parts, motherboard, CPU, not graphics card. Well, the original graphics card, yes, but I switched out graphics cards for a different one. It was the $10 graphics card I got at a yard sale. That's where I got it. That's where I got the graphics card. And so the other thing I have down here, the case and the power supply I got from friends that wanted to switch out with other stuff. And I mean, I've got to say, everything I've gotten here has just been a kind of collecting and kind of keeping an eye out, like, hey, anybody want this? No, you're good, you can take it. I mean, everything I got here, the CPU I only paid like 30 bucks with the motherboard, CPU and motherboard combo for 30 bucks off a computer recycle store. So I mean, that was where I've gotten everything. And I mean, sitting down and looking back at it, this computer plays today's games pretty well. I mean, I won't say for 75 bucks and you can max out games for 75 bucks, a few, I mean, some of the most played ones, yes. But if you were going to just play Minecraft on that machine, you'd be fine. If you want to even play a couple other games, you'd be fine. PUBG, you'd have to be pushing it. I'd recommend getting a different CPU at that point, but different CPU would still leave you at 100 bucks. And you'd be 100 bucks for a computer that can play pretty much, if you're fine with getting used parts. And the other thing is, if you get a graphics card that's old enough, people won't want to use it for mining. And so you'll be stuck with a graphics card that you know is probably going to last a long time as well. You get a hard drive, you can upgrade your hard drive, all that stuff. Hard drive I got for like 3 bucks. So it was awesome. And I got Windows 7 on the hard drive. Full license key and everything. So my point being is, sit down and just take your time to figure out what you have available to you. Get a good graphics card. It doesn't need to be super special, but I mean, you saw what the graphics card did. It was destroying Black Squad. So out of the 3 games, I think that was pretty crazy. And I will say that this video has taken me the longest out of all my videos I think I've ever recorded. I have spent hours on trying to get different testing FPS wise, the feel of things and stuff. I really appreciate a like on this. It did take a long time. If you're interested in the kind of stuff I do on this channel, I've finally got around to showcasing my modded graphics card. This is the original graphics card that came in the system, and as you can tell, it wouldn't fit in there just right yet. I'll tell you how that goes. That'll be tomorrow's video if you're interested. And of course, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope to see you guys around. And of course, subscribe if you're interested. But thank you for watching this far. Appreciate it. And thank you for taking interest in my content. See you guys next time. Goodbye.